Fit for Life Radio, coming at you from Coastal Strength and Fitness
On a Saturday.
on a Saturday.
I think it's Saturday.
Fell behind our normal schedule, podcasting
Things
schedule.
have been a little wild.
So, today's episode, we are going to talk about, the official title is healthy eating as expensive as you think? So, this is a topic where it's a common thing you hear for people.
Dude, all the time.
Like
I can't
a
eat
roadblock.
healthy. It's so expensive.
Yeah. It's normally not a issue when people start doing it, because for reasons that we'll get into when you find out that it's not that expensive. But so more for people who just on the outside looking in, it's always this real surface issue.
Yeah.
And then maybe there is some people who are just, man, this is really expensive, so we can teach you little tips and tricks to make it less.
Things to focus on that'll cut down on your price.
Yeah.
So
where you have blinders on and you don't realize the stuff that's really running you up.
Yep. Because some, we'll say in quotes, healthy alternatives to different foods can be crazy expensive, but...
And that's where...
We'll explore that a little bit.
So, first off, we need to define what's healthy eating, right? And a lot of people think...
This is like the most misunderstood thing ever.
Yeah. It's not drowning yourself in kale, right? And this is where healthy eating maybe gets expensive, right?
Rain.
You fall for all the goji berries and kales and $9 asparagus water.
And those are expensive, like goji berries, acai berries. Like, they got to be like, I don't know, $6 to $10 a pound or something crazy like that, which, if you're buying that, it's going to be super expensive.
But first off, we define it as just eating appropriate amount of food.
Depending on what your goal is.
Yeah, because ultimately, understand the health benefits of exercise and healthy nutrition eating comes down to they help support a healthy body weight, right? And then when you get in these certain body weight, body composition ranges, they have seen and know that there is less risk for negative health effects. Yeah. So like different, heart disease and cancers and all these things, right? So getting to a healthy body weight range, body composition supports and helps to be healthy, right? So food is a big part of that. But the thing is, you can get there by eating just less of what you currently eat, even if it's slushies. Now, eventually, you want to get some micronutrition. But the thing is, if you're eating most whole foods, you're gonna get those nutrients.
Yeah, you're gonna cover most everything.
And that's the thing. Like, there's nothing magical about the super expensive foods that with all the marketing hype. Like, you can just have some regular spinach, right? You don't need to get some expensive kale. And if you like it and you have the budget, go for it. But a potato has
basically everything you need.
Everything, right? And that's one of the cheapest things that there is. So and here's the thing too, you can eat, pounds and pounds of salmon and buckets of olive oil, and you're gonna be overweight.
Yeah.
Right? And have the negative...
And worse off than somebody who's eating something that's, less healthy,
including some ice cream in their diet or something, right? So you can eat these super healthy, expensive foods and eat too much, gain excess body fat, and then that's going to have negative consequences on your health.
Yeah, it's not just this clear cut, if I eat this food, I'm going to be healthy. It's, the first check mark is that I'm eating the right amount of these foods, and then food choice is going to come secondary, I feel, to the amounts. I think we should dig in on... So this is the most common one that we hear. Usually when people come in here, they start, eating better or whatever, they're trying to lose weight, is I started eating salad, or I added in vegetables. Why am I not losing weight?
Yeah. So if you took out your number 5, right, at wherever, Wendy's, and it was 650 calorie meal, and then you replace it with a salad with a ton of oil on it, right? And maybe some other stuff, some cheese and all. So just calories, and that salad ends up being 900 calories. You're just again aiding. You're just adding calories. If you're gonna, if that puts you in a calorie surplus, you're gonna be gaining weight.
Yeah.
You're gonna have, or if you just replace it the same amount of calories, you're not gonna lose weight.
Yeah. And then a lot of times what happens is like we just add it in addition to what we're having too.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I had a salad with my burger. Yeah. All right. Well, you still had the burger and you had the salad.
You got a little extra vitamin K, right? Now that's not gonna.
But not much. You got a bunch of water and fiber.
Yep. And when in actuality, say someone's, felt they were in an overweight range and they want to lose weight to improve their health, the first actually best step might be, hey, was your number 5 a burger and fries and soda? Why don't just switch to diet soda and drop the fries and replace it with the fruit cup. Bam, you just cut out a bunch of calories. That's healthy eating.
And you still really kept the same habit of, getting the same meal at the same place.
Yep.
And it's not
and it's not a ton
typical.
of change at once.
Exactly. But you still get a burger. Burgers are good, but less calories.
Yeah, because for that person, I could tell you to go get XYZ meal plan. That's a lot of habits that have to change at once. Now you have to change where you're eating. Now you have to make a grocery list. You have to go grocery shopping. You have to buy the right foods. Then you have to cook those foods, maybe learn to cook those foods.
Then you got to store them, and then you have to make sure that you actually eat them.
Whereas for a lot of people, hey, just switch your order up. And that gets you eating less, gets you losing weight. Bam, that's healthier.
Yeah.
That's healthier eating. And here's the other thing. Obviously, a lot of this involves eating less food. Guess what? Guess what eating less food means? Spending less money. So right there on level stage 1, ultimately, if you just eat less of what you're currently eating, that means you're going to be spending less money. Right?
There we go.
But now let's go to level 2. Let's say, okay, let me improve the quality of what I am eating to get more bang for my buck. So let's stick with a similar example. So we'll go with my breakfast post, right? Time. A lot of people, it's so hard. Healthy food, healthy breakfast is expensive and time consuming.
I don't have time to cook.
So let's say you swing by and you go to 7-Eleven and you grab a big bite and an energy drink.
God, right? I love a big bite.
So there's those energy drinks are $2 or $3 a big bite.
Yeah, they're about $3.
$3. So $6, and a lot of calories. Then you slam on that cheese sauce. That comes out like it's liquid or whatever. But delicious. And then you wait in line. You had to drive there, and then you're waiting in line, checking out. It's not.
Then you're eating it in your car.
It's not the great experience.
No, it's not.
So then let's flip that, where I had an example of my breakfast, and it was 2 whole eggs, some chicken that was already prepped, so I just take it out, reheated it. So it was 4 ounces of chicken, 2 whole eggs, and then a cup or I'm not sure what the portions are, but a bowl of grits with some blueberries, right? So, and for me and my goals, the calories, it was pretty big of breakfast. It was like 600 or 700 calories. But for me, like fits in my grand scheme, trying to eat 2,000 calories a day, 3 meals that are about 700 calories, puts me at about, 2,000, 2,100. So for my goals, boom, we can check that box, right? Appropriate amount of food. And then we break it down. And honestly, like sometimes it just depends on the eggs I grab. Like I could grab like the pastured eggs that are $4 for a dozen. In that sense, then 2 eggs from that. Let's see, you break that down, it'd be $1 per 3.
Yep. So 30 cents a piece.
But anyways, then there's also the eggs that are like $1 a dozen, right? So then you're looking at pennies almost.
Yeah, really.
For the eggs. But anyways, I think I put down like 25 cents, right, for the 2 eggs. And then the chicken
4 ounces.
is typically, it was 4 ounces. You can get most places a pound of chicken for $2. Boom, 50 cents, right? For 4 ounces is 1 divided by 4. Break it down into servings like that for a pound. Then you had the grits, which are pennies, right? 10 cents for a serving of grits in a big container that was like $2. And then the blueberries, which half a cup of blueberries is a serving. And surprisingly, like you hear like half a cup, you're like, that's nothing. Dude, half a cup of berries
Yeah.
is a lot of food. Like, I'm always amazed every time I pour out because I use a scale so I don't have to use.
Same.
And that's the thing. People complain about the scale.
It makes life so
dude,
freaking easy, man.
You have so many less
things to clean.
Dishes to clean.
Oh my god.
When you use a scale.
If I can weigh something, I will.
Think about this, people.
Like, and then it's exact. Like,
you can just put your food on there, like zero it out, your bowl. And then, like, you just pour food in and see the measurements. You don't have to use a scooper. You're not using extra silverware.
Yeah.
You're just, man.
It's direct.
I already know my portions now in food. I don't even need to weigh it, but I still use it because it's almost just, it's convenient in that way.
I do the exact same thing.
So, anyways, half a cup of blueberries. It's about $1 for a cup. And the bag is like four cups. So that breaks down to about 50 cents. For the half a cup of blueberries. So like that entire breakfast is like
$1.25?
25, right?
Versus 5 or 6.
Versus 5 or 6. Now,
we can say 5 to be conservative.
And it took no time. Literally put the grits in the bowl with water, pop in the microwave, 3 minutes. While that's going on, the pan's heating. Throw my chicken on there to heat it up. Throw the eggs on there. Grits cook, stir it in. 3-4 minutes later, the eggs, chicken are ready. Boom. Yeah. 5 minutes total. You're at home. Peace, serenity, calm. Maybe.
No pants.
I have no kids, so there's a lot.
Yeah, same.
But no pants. Boom. And then you break that down into, we'll say, just Monday through Friday, the amount of money you're saving. Even there with that one meal, it's making, if you do want to have your goji berries and kale, it almost like balances it out, right?
Yep.
So it's a no-brainer. And then, we could then even break down a lunch. People go out to eat, spend $8 to $12 eating out.
Right.
If you're having, obviously, like, this isn't, it depends on what you want to do. My meals are super basic. So some meat and rice is always going to be cheap, right?
Rice is one of the cheapest things you can buy per volume.
If I get beef, which is $4 a pound, 8 ounces of that's $2.
Yeah, I was going to get that example.
Rice is nothing really, but we'll say potatoes, $1 a pound. So you're using a pound of potatoes.
$3.
And that's if you have, having a lot of calories like me, but most people would be like half a pound. Well, a pound of potatoes is $1, right?
Yeah,
so
$2.50.
Half a pound's 50 cents. So you're looking at $2.50 for lunch. And then let's throw in an apple, so $1, right? So $3.50. You know what? Let's get spicy and throw in I don't know, like a Diet Coke or something, or a kombucha, right? $2. So even there, you're still way under going out to eat.
$8 to $12.
So I think you guys see where we're going with this.
Yes.
And then this is where people go wrong.
Yep.
This is what they do when people think healthy eating is expensive. What happens is they're grocery shopping. People don't count their eating out. They don't really track their money intake. Mm-hmm. So then they don't think of it. People just kind of lose track of how much they're spending when they eat out and not realizing, so they're eating less groceries. So they're probably, if they do go get groceries, they pick up some stuff and it's like $20 of stuff.
Yeah.
But you need to count out your groceries and your eating out, add all that up, your entire food intake, and then take that number. And then what happens when they do go, I'm going to go grocery shopping and start this healthy kick. Yeah, they'll go and spend $100 at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Which is more than they're used to at the grocery store in that one trip. Yeah. And then they're like, this is so expensive. But if you break it down per meal and cut out the eating out, it's not even close.
Oh, yeah. Like if you're spending, even if you like go out to eat for lunch, we'll say 3 days. That's almost $40 that you spent on just 3 lunches for your whole week versus $100 in groceries, which is pretty reasonable for a grocery bill for most people, for a person. So your grocery bill is, 40%, or your eating out is 40% of your
total
whole week of grocery bill. And I think it's just the awareness. I think a lot of stuff like this comes down to awareness of realizing that, I spend X amount of dollars per meal when I eat out, or, I spend X amount when I prepare food at home.
Yep.
So
what I do is, I like to budget stuff, right? So I treat eating out as like fun money budget, right? Mm-hmm. And then I have a grocery budget. And so that's our grocery food. And if we are going to eat out, it's going to be treated like miscellaneous, extra disposable income type money, and then that makes you just look at it different and realize. So if you do, because when you go out to eat, should be for
It's
fun,
an experience,
fun entertainment
Yeah.
experience. To me, that's the same as going to the movies or going to an amusement park, right? So that's how we treat it. So most people don't realize how much they spend because they go out to eat for just regular stuff all the time, and they're not counting that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you then again, so you avoid the hype foods, and yeah, when you're eating lean meats, basic fruits, basic veggies, you can get those in can form, frozen form.
I mean, frozen is your best friend, I feel. Like, there's some things that might be a little more expensive frozen than fresh, but I think you're going to waste less when you buy frozen food. Quality is going to be perfect, really. Most frozen vegetables are great quality. And really, you can just have the amount that you want, put the rest in the freezer, whatever, and
not have to worry about it going bad.
Yeah, like that's
food waste.
I very rarely even buy vegetables that aren't frozen anymore. I can't remember the last time I really did.
We don't get any.
Unless it was for something specific. Like, I do like to cook. Like once a week I'll make something different and fun. But outside of that, man.
And the ironic thing is the frozen and canned are probably more nutritious.
Yeah.
Because they're frozen and canned kind of at that peak moment when they're picked.
Yeah, they're in the best spot.
Unless you're getting veggies like locally, right from the source. You got to remember most stuff comes from California and it's coming on
or another country.
Yeah, or another
South
country.
America.
So it's having gets picked and then sits around for a week and then it travels for a couple of weeks
and it loses nutrition through that whole process.
Ever since it's picked. So again, unless you're getting local, it's probably better to get fresh or frozen or canned versus fresh.
Yeah, and for vegetables, I know a lot of people get shoehorned into thinking like I got to have this giant salad with all these different types of vegetables and nuts and whatever on it, and all those things are expensive, man.
Yeah.
When you buy a whole bunch of variety, one, you're probably not going to use it all. Guarantee you're going to throw lettuce away or spinach away every single week. So buy stuff that's simple, that you enjoy, and just a little less variety. Now, I'm not saying don't try different things over time, and that's completely fine. But in a given week, don't buy 11 types of vegetables to think that you're going to have them all and you're going to be the healthiest person ever. Just buy one. Like, I'll go weeks where I only eat broccoli. Whatever. Yeah. It's fine. I'll have other weeks where I get asparagus. Sometimes I'll mix and match. But overall, I'm eating like 3 different types of vegetables. And don't feel like you have to
do it all in a day.
Yeah. You don't have to have 12 servings in a day.
Yeah.
Most people are going from none. So maybe just add 1 or 2 servings a day and don't feel like you have to, conquer the whole world right away.
Yeah. I like the weekly approach, right? Like you kind of have your veggie that you get for the week and then you swap it out, or your protein source, and swap it out each week. And the good thing too, or at least starting out with basic stuff, is then you develop some shopping habits, almost like a template, and then it makes it easier for you to add in variety and kind of understand what you're trading stuff for, right? So if you've been getting like chicken breast, well, I want something different. Then okay, well, I normally spend $2 a pound, and we get 10 pounds a week, so we're spending $20 on our protein. Then you can easily be like, do the math and kind of see the trade-offs.
Yeah, like, I want to get ground turkey this week.
Yeah,
all right, well, is that about the same?
Yeah, you may see it's $3, right? Oh, well, I'm going to be spending a little more on my protein. Let me maybe get a little bit cheaper veggie, right, to stay within your grocery budget, to where then you kind of have some variance, but you're able to keep things in check. But if you just go in the grocery store, which then brings us to another point that we probably should have started with too, is like, have a list and have a plan.
Oh my God.
If you just
I live and die by my grocery list.
Yeah, willy-nilly, you're going to spend a lot, because you could easily grab 4 extra things and boom, there's $16, $18. Then you're looking at your bill, you're like, this is expensive.
How did this happen?
But when you're eating gluten-free organic wheat thins, like all of a sudden when you stop and think, dang, that was that box of wheat thins was $4 for some snacky food that I just randomly eat.
Yeah.
Whereas, boom, that's 2 pounds of chicken breast.
Yep.
Right? 2 pounds of chicken breast is like, for individuals, that could be 4 meals. That could be the bulk of 4 meals.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is
4 dinners.
That's a lot.
Almost a week's worth of dinners, because you got a box of crackers.
Mm-hmm. And be aware of the like I said in the beginning, the healthy type stuff like gluten-free wheat thins or whatever
Yeah.
they are.
So
like those are always going to be more expensive. Second, they're never as good as the original anyways. And just think about prioritizing, prioritize your protein, prioritize the main parts of the meal and spend your money there rather than buying something that you think is healthy but isn't. Gluten-free wheat thins are still wheat thins.
Asparagus water.
Yeah, don't drink asparagus water. You're essentially just drinking something to make your pee smell.
The other thing with that is, so same thing. And again, some people may think that's too much. It's just take it or leave it. Some stuff works for people, some doesn't.
Yeah.
But even with the stuff like that, like if I want Teddy Grahams or ice cream, so I keep it in two separate trips, right? Then if we do go and we're going to get some ice cream or just random treats, have a hankering like that, again, we go and get just that stuff in that trip. And it's, to me, when I'm doing the budgeting, that's going on as
fun money,
entertainment stuff, because that's what it is.
Yep.
Right. So that way, I'm not fooling myself into like thinking, oh, this is groceries, this is nourishment, this is
my normal week.
I want to keep it separate, and keep that same mindset, right? Because I don't want that to impact with the foods that I know are fuel and make me feel my best, give me good energy. So that for me, I know like that's something that's worked really well, is keeping the budget tactics like that. And looking at food that way, right?
That's a good idea.
You have your fuel meals and you have your fun meals, and even at the bare minimum, like at least don't fool yourself, right? Don't be like, oh, healthy eating's so expensive, but you're getting pop chips. Right, and in your mind, you're like, well, it's a better potato chip, quote unquote,
still a chip,
healthier potato chip, and you're spending $18 a week on pop chips, and then complaining that healthy eating is expensive.
Yep. So, and then the other thing is just kind of look at what you do. If you're complaining that it's too expensive, am I buying dumb stuff like that?
Yeah.
If you are, then you need to check yourself.
I'll never forget when I mentioned to someone I was traveling and got like a day pass, at the gym. They're like, man, that's just as crazy. It's too expensive. It's like $15 for a day pass when they travel. And I'm like, well, you go to the bar, go out and get a drink with your dinner when you're out? Dude, everywhere I go when I travel, a drink is $10 to $15.
And then you got a tip. And
people never wouldn't hesitate. You told someone that you got a drink, they would never ask you like, why'd you spend $10
$15
on a drink?
Or you spend $100 out drinking?
Yeah. No one ever. And think about it, that one drink, shoot, it may even be a shot, right? What's that last you? Either 30 seconds or 3 minutes,
But going to the gym.
Jen, you get a whole hour, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's the mindset, right? Where people catch themselves. And dude, I've literally almost ran that through my head. Well, $20, when the place was 25. Wait a second, is it worth? You start rationalizing,
and you're like, damn, I spent like $50 on this thing that I don't even really need.
So, learning and just again bringing awareness to those thoughts and actions. Most people you're gonna find is cheaper.
Yeah, and I think one thing, and I think you touched on it, but keep your stuff simple. Don't go out and find a recipe that needs 40 ingredients. When you do that, then
Tahitian vanilla beans scraped with wild monkeys.
Yeah,
doing the scraping.
That gets really expensive. And I think that's the other thing is people find a quote unquote healthy recipe and they're like, oh, I don't have any of this. I should go pick it all up. When really, in reality, instead of making this really elaborate dish, you could have just, put some basic seasoning on your chicken or like a cheap sauce, and that would have been it. And it would have been good. And you would not have bought 15 ingredients you'll never use again. Yeah. So that's another thing. Coming from somebody who does enjoy doing that, you learn to, tone it down. Don't try stuff that you need an exotic ingredient for. Like if you got to go to a specialty store to get an ingredient that costs you like $10, maybe don't.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. A lot of stuff is unnecessary.
Man, we're making a good case here.
I think it's a good case. I almost
want to make the case for like how healthy eating is more expensive. Like I feel like it's such a hard argument, man. Because if you're just doing it right, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And it's funny now at this point. It's almost like I have trouble expanding beyond my base diet because everything else seems so expensive.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm like, oh, I'll go out to eat. This is what we do. we'll spend $60, and I'm like, man, that's like almost a whole week of groceries.
Yeah,
and
I do the same thing
in one meal. So again, it's jokingly, but also what it really makes you do is like, man, when I go out to eat, I want to make it worth it.
Get stuff you enjoy when you go out to eat. Because if you're just going out to like Applebee's and getting a half-assed meal, it's basically somebody microwaved a meal for you. Is that really worth it? Is that better than what you could have had at home? Is it a good enough experience? Yeah. That's what I always think about. Like, I want to go someplace where like the environment's great, the company's great, the food's amazing, and maybe something that I can't have at home. And that way it's worth it. Because I always find myself comparing. I'm like, dude, I could have made a burger better than this at home, or things like that. And, it is about the experience. But if your food is just not even up to par, I have a hard time, reconciling that.
Yeah. And that's where, when we go out to eat, we like to do things that we aren't going to make at home.
Sushi.
Can't do ourselves. So,
dude,
like
sushi's the number one. I'm never probably going to make sushi.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with going out for it.
And like a good burger and fries.
Oh, yeah.
I don't got a deep fryer at home, and milkshake. So that's
another one. That one, and then smoked meats. Those are like my three.
Yeah.
Burgers, smoked meats, and
But when people try to
sushi.
go out to lunch and get a healthy lunch, I'm like, first of all, it's probably going to still be 1,500 calories.
Yep.
And
no matter what you
could have made it at home, and it'll probably taste better and be cheaper.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that helps.
I hope so.
I feel really
Let's
good.
give a couple bullet points to like sum it up. I think
start off with defining healthy eating, which is eating appropriate amounts of food.
Yep.
So for some people, it could just be eat less of what you're currently eating.
Yep. And then you can maybe change
start making a grocery list.
Your food choices. Make a grocery list.
Have a plan when you go shopping.
That's the big one, because if you don't have a plan, you just grab stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Then you end up with a bunch of food you're going to not eat.
Yep.
Because the more you grocery shop, you figure out I need X amount of food every week to get through all my meals. And when you get to that point where you're only getting that stuff, like by the end of the week, we're literally out of everything. And that's kind of how it should be.
Next week, I need more of this or less.
Yeah. Or like that was the right amount of food, so I'm good. Yeah. So that's another important one. And then don't feel like you need to have super elaborate dishes and buy a bunch of vegetables are the most common one. Vegetables and nuts are crazy expensive for really what you're getting. So just be careful buying a ton of those, because you'll go through them quickly or waste them. And there's better choices you can make, better bang for your buck in terms of food choices.
Yeah. And and then also, like we said, like have a budget, like track your spending on your eating out, on your groceries, to really see how things match up.
Yeah, it's just like eating. We tell people to track their food in some way, so you can see if there's any, am I eating too many whatevers, or do I have too much oil in my diet, whatever. You got to have that awareness too with the food that you're actually buying, to know, am I wasting money here, or am I buying too many snacks, whatever. All of it adds up.
Yep. All right. Hopefully that helps you out there.
I think it will.
As always, if you have any questions, hit us up on social media. We'll keep them rolling. We'll keep them coming.
Yep.
All right, guys.
See you.
See ya.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.